early bird special, only $49.99 guaranteed. Because don't just cut down, but stop smoking. In addition, lose all the weight 100% guaranteed. With Mark Patrick Seminars, let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. That's right, seminar Tuesday, April 1st at the American Lodge and Suites Fergus Falls Conference Center. Weight loss seminar at 5:30, stop smoking seminar at 8. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
We know it's cold outside, but summer is closer than you think. It's time to start planning for that new shop you're building this summer. Don't forget about the most crucial detail, the garage door. Make it easy and give Easy Open Garage Door a call at 770-DOOR.
The process of selecting a memorial to commemorate a loved one can be challenging. After all, it's not something you do often, and you may not have done it before. I'm Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. We've been crafting memorials that matter for over 140 years right here locally. We've helped a lot of friends and neighbors over the years. Our extensive inventory accommodates diverse choices while keeping costs manageable, and that matters. Call or visit us online at fergusfallsmonument.com. Memorials that matter.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Wednesday morning. It is currently 32 right now in Fergus Falls. Hoping everybody's having a great start to your Wednesday. Mary, we're hitting the old hump day, and we've gone up, we've gone down.
We're going
back up, and then we're going to go down and get slapped.
Oh, slapped with rain and snow, possibly, right?
It's like one of those old Three Stooges where they just kind of go up, down, and then just follow them around. All of a sudden, bam, slap them or poke them in the eyes.
Yep. Yeah. Remember when we did this?
Yeah. I think that's what we're getting. We're getting we're going up, we're down, we're up. Oh, everything looks good, and boom, 5 inches of snow.
That is spring. Again, spring, my least favorite of the 4 seasons.
And if you head over to KBRF's Facebook page, you will find our poll question: how much snow do you think we're going to get in the next 2 months? So,
and you said 8.
I said 8. Yeah.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, it's like 4 to 8. So both of them are, quite honestly, you'd be clicking on the same thing.
Okay. Well, I'll buy you a DQ if you're right. How's that?
That sounds good. Speaking of which, we never did we didn't get enough snow, and it was just one of those things where it's like,
Right. We didn't have a pile to get rid of.
Yeah.
And something else we didn't get to yesterday was our March Madness thing.
Oh, yeah.
We said we were going to talk about it, and then we never did. But I wondered just how many boards people are on. Maybe we can have them send us a text.
Yeah, 321-1926. Maybe that might be next week's poll question. Do you take?
It might be.
We'll do that for next week's poll question.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Like the brackets.
Yeah. Do you do the brackets? Do you do a
bracket
board, or what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know enough about college basketball.
Well, it doesn't matter.
And it doesn't really matter because some of these Cinderella teams come in and take out the big guns right away. And, you pick the UConns and North Carolina and all those teams that are traditionally really, really good. But you never know at tournament time.
I can tell you Duke's going to be out in the first round if I pick them to win it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
a lot of people pick Duke to get in at least to the Final Four, and a lot of times to go all the way, and it seems like they get knocked out.
It's funny, though. I look over at my parents' house. My dad watches all the conference tournaments, trying to figure out, who are the hot teams, who's got the best players, so he gets ready for his brackets and stuff. The last couple of years, I've got zero time for it. I kind of know who's good. I kind of know who isn't because I work in the news, so I see who wins and who loses.
Right.
My mom has finished the best out of all of us in any of our brackets ever.
See,
I think she got a top 5.
It pays not to know very much, I think.
Yeah.
Not that your mom doesn't know much, but about college basketball, I'm guessing that she watches less of it than your dad does.
Well, she's next to him when she watches, but she reads and stuff.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she's up on the news. So, but you're right. Tournament time comes around.
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. I haven't been on one of those brackets. I haven't done a bracket for years and years and years.
Kevin Johansson with LPL Financial hooked up with Craig Olson and CraigOlsonSports.com a few years back, and we're kind of in that bracket.
Okay.
It was funny, though, because I had to ask, hey, can I create a second bracket that was nothing but coin flips. We took the favorites for the first round, and then everything
and
else
then
was a
just
coin
flipped
flip.
Coin. Okay,
And
that will be interesting.
It did okay. Well, this was a couple years ago.
Okay.
We stopped doing it.
Oh,
but
okay.
It kind of finished middle of the pack.
But you know what? And there are already a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's a couple of teams who finished in conference play, not like people expected
Exactly.
to get in. So
Selection Sunday.
It'll be interesting. So do all the games get underway next Thursday-ish?
Yeah, I think there's the first four. I think they call it the first four, where they've got 4 games. Where it's 64 teams, but I think 68 teams make the bracket or something like that. And so they've got the first couple set of games. They're kind of playing pigtail games before that. But I think Thursday is when things really get going.
Okay.
But Sunday is when they come out with the brackets. They unveil everything.
All right.
Money's been handed, changed hands a couple times.
Right.
Hey, if you put us as this seed in this bracket.
I know. Don't you wonder what's going on behind the scenes?
Oh, there's a lot of finagling and a lot of,
I know,
people
it's
dishing
so
out
too
the
bad.
money.
College sports, I think they've ruined college sports.
With the NIA?
Yeah.
Or NIL.
NIL, yep. And if you don't know what we're talking about, that's names, images, and likenesses, NIL.
Yeah.
And these college kids really
Can make money.
are making boatloads of money
Yep.
by using their names, images, and likenesses in ads and that kind of thing.
Yep.
And I just think, first of all, a lot of these kids don't make it all the way through college. They get drafted.
Yep.
At least on the men's side of things.
But they're so young that they get taken advantage of. They don't know how to use money.
Absolutely, they don't know how to. You know what? If you and I were all of a sudden to make a couple $100,000, or maybe it could be a lot more than that. I mean, some of these guys are making in the millions.
Oh yeah.
So if you and I were to make $1 million today, we had $1 million windfall. I can guarantee that you and I would both spend some of it unwisely.
Oh, you'd have to.
Yeah, I mean, you'd play with some of it, right?
Yeah. But the rest would be invested. I mean,
right.
$1 million
but
doesn't go as far as it used
imagine
to.
being 18,
Oh, yeah.
19. So they're kids.
And
they don't know how to do that.
And they're at the age
I don't know how to
where
do that.
they went through, middle school, high school, into college, being told, "Oh, you're great. You can't do anything wrong." I mean, we're talking the top athletes, and so they've had nothing but yes men their entire life.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, here's $1 million to come down to Bonneville Chevrolet and say that I buy my car here at Bonneville Chevrolet.
Right.
And so it's just crazy.
So anyway, with that, I think they have kind of spoiled college sports.
Yeah.
Do any of the women in college ever get drafted out of college? Most of them do their full 4 or 5 years.
I think a couple.
Not very often,
Release,
though, right?
but yeah, no. Most of the time they do the full 4.
Okay.
That I know of.
Yeah,
I guess.
Me too.
I mean, I remember Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. I'm not sure about LeBron James, but they got taken out of high school.
Yeah, right. I think LeBron James was one of those too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So March Madness is upon us, and
Yes.
that's why we're expecting bad weather.
Yep, we're expecting bad weather over the weekend. It's going to be freezing rain into snow. How much snow we get depends on how much freezing rain we get. It all depends on when.
Boy.
It's like we're going to get that cell of precipitation. It's going to go through the area. It all depends on when we hit 32.
Right. So it could be rain, freezing rain, or heavy wet snow,
Yep.
or all of the above.
I've got a feeling we're going to see all of the above.
You think so?
Yep. Check all the
Okay.
boxes. Click,
Okay.
click, click.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. You've got that to look forward to. So I'm guessing a week from this weekend is state high school basketball tournament.
I think girls is this weekend.
Okay, and then boys the next weekend.
Yep.
I think you're right. So anyway, we've got a couple of contests on the air for you on some of our sister stations tonight. I know
Do we?
that, well, I think Ada Borup takes on Henning, and I believe that is tonight. And I don't know, do they play in Perham maybe?
Oh, yeah, there are. West Central at Benson, Henning, Ada Borup, West Central playoff. It doesn't say where they're at.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure either. I thought it was Perham, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, that Henning and Ada Borup game is going to be
That's gonna
a
be a good
barn
one.
burner tonight. Yeah.
The one I get a kick out of is the Otter Alexandria game. It was on Thursday, then it was on
Then
Friday.
it was on Friday. Now it's back
on
to Thursday.
So, yes,
and that,
tomorrow night.
Yep. And do we know where that one is?
That's in DL.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So back to Thursday night, Otter boys.
Yes.
And Alexandria. That's a tough one. Man, oh, man. Alexandria, from the time that I was in high school, have had good sports teams.
We used to beat them all the time.
Really?
Yep. Same with Detroit Lakes, except for football. Football is the
Oh.
only thing we couldn't beat DL in, but
DL and Alexandria were both strong when I was in high
for
school.
us, the Otter Killers were Moorhead, because we were still in the conference
Right.
with Moorhead, and Ricori.
Ricori.
Ricori would beat us a lot.
East Grand once in a while, too.
East Grand every once in a
Right.
while, but for the most part, it was Moorhead and Ricori. I
Yeah.
know we had an awesome basketball team headed up by one of our announcers, Jason Retzoff,
Right?
and those guys were dominating everything, hit a buzzsaw with Ricori. I think Ricori went on to win the state championship. I'd have to
Okay.
double check. I could ask Jason, he might know.
Right.
But yeah, it was that team. That was a phenomenal team that Bob Bjorklund put together, and it was so close, but so far. And then my other other team, the hockey team, before they went on their run of 7 or 8 state championships in a row, they lost to Detroit Lakes in triple overtime on a ridiculous goal, and it was bad.
Boy.
I'm not gonna lie, that happened in '96, and I'm still bitter about it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, boy, sour grapes for a
Yes.
long time. Okay, so we talked about March Madness, but we meant to do that yesterday. Sorry about that. We got onto something else and forgot. So how about spring break? Spring break is on, and now, of course, there is another disappearance of a young college student. And she has been missing now for a week, I believe.
Yeah, she's probably dead.
I think so, in the Dominican, right? Playa? No, that's not right.
No,
That's,
it's another big resort.
Yeah. Anyway, so now they have some footage of her with a young man who I think believe that they have, I don't know if in custody, but he is considered a person of interest. But now they're kind of going after the hotel, and people are saying, well, the hotel never warned us.
You shouldn't need to be warned.
Well, if you're at a hotel and you want to to go out to the beach at night, and it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
so
not
probably
smart.
not a great decision in the first place. But
No.
the Dominican Republic resort where the University of Pittsburgh student
Punta Cana?
Punta Cana,
There we
you're
go.
right.
Yep.
Experienced a lengthy power outage just before she vanished, and the resort company and guests they came out with this and told Fox Digital this. She was seen for the last time after 4 a.m. on March 6th, apparently walking on the beach. And less than 2 hours before the University of Pittsburgh student disappeared, power was restored at the 5-star adults-only place where she was staying. And it wasn't until many hours later that the friends that she had been with earlier in the night discovered that she
was
never
gone.
came
Well,
back.
4 o'clock in the morning, they're asleep.
Wow. Anyway, so they're saying this electrical issue, they were worried about that, and they were thinking, people at the hotel were working on that, and they weren't taking care of their guests. And I heard a report yesterday, they said, that they should have done more to warn these young women.
Duh. 4 o'clock in the morning, let's stroll
Well,
around in the dark.
But is that the hotels? Is
No.
that their job?
It's not.
Not even, I don't think so at all. Yeah. But anyway, sadly, they have not seen hide nor hair of this girl. So the young man that she was seen walking away with to the beach at 4 a.m. came then 2 hours later, came back to the resort alone. So
Yeah, she's dead.
yeah, just really, really sad. And yeah,
You got to have some personal responsibility,
gosh.
and you've got to have a little bit of self-preservation in you.
yeah, and just a little common sense.
Okay, this is, I guess, not quite apples and oranges to oranges, but when we were in Cocoa Beach a couple months ago, we wanted to see some rocket launches. There was a Falcon 9 launch, and then there was a New Glenn launch happening way early in the morning. 1:15 for the SpaceX launch. It ended up being about 2:45 for the New Glen launch. And so Jen and I, we walked about a block down to the beach, and it was amazing to see how many people were there. But even at 47 years old, I still had my head on a swivel and kept an eye on who was there. I could tell you where every little group was that was watching those launches. And there was, some kids running around, kids, they're probably in their lower 20s, running around that really weren't there for the rocket launch. They're probably doing drugs or hanky-panky or something out there. But we knew where they were. And anytime they got a little close, we kind of got drifted towards other people.
Yeah.
And it's just, you have to know what's going on, and you have to pay attention. You got to have a little self-preservation.
Right. Even more so today than, even 5 years ago, and certainly 10 and, 20 years ago. But I think a little bit of common sense, and of course, then you add alcohol, and that doesn't help. And I have no way of knowing if there was alcohol involved, but you can almost surmise.
4 in the morning, let's go down the beach with some unknown
Somebody
guy.
I don't know, probably. Anyway, a couple of other things in the news before we get to the bottom of the hour. Southwest Airlines will introduce fees for checked luggage on May 28th, except for A-list loyalty members and business fare flyers. The company also announced the introduction of basic economy fares. These changes coincide with a recent layoff of 1,750 employees. But the CEO, Bob Jordan, expressed optimism about restoring profitability. But when you lay off 1,700 people, things don't look great.
No.
I can't believe that they didn't already have fees for checked luggage. Everybody else does. Everybody else has fees for everything. If you take on a
Southwest has got a fee for if you need to use the restroom.
I know they're all full of fees. And speaking of fees, I just booked a VRBO, and it says when you're booking it at where the price is, it says all fees included except tax. But when I actually went to the booking, there was a cleaning fee, there was a resort fee, there was this fee, there was that fee. There were I think 4 fees. So, and then the price was $100 higher or whatever it was. So it wasn't really included.
No,
so
I would have pointed that out.
Well, I'm going to ask the question still, but anyway, so you sort of get taken advantage of in these kinds of things. Anyway, let's see what else we have for you. Los Angeles ranked the lowest in the USA for air quality. I don't think that's
not a shocker.
Any big shock. This is also not a shock. U.S. stocks fell on Tuesday due to concerns of potential recession and new tariffs on Canada. So S&P fell about 0.75, and the NASDAQ declined about 15%. President Trump announced increased tariffs on steel and aluminum, escalating trade tensions and impacting global markets. So my advice to you is hold fast.
Paper loss.
Don't look.
Just a loss on paper.
Look.
It's not a loss until you take it out.
That's right.
Or move it.
Oh boy.
So,
but it hurts to look at it even on paper.
I don't even look back. Fine.
Don't look. All right. So we'll take a short break. We're back with more on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
I once booked a venue that was a logistical nightmare, too far from the hotels and too hard to find. It made our entire event feel rushed and stressful. That's when I decided to try the Bigwood Event Center. Being right off the interstate and a hotel on site, it made travel easy for everyone. They took care of all the setup and cleanup, letting me focus on my presentation instead of the details. It made our event run so much smoother, and I'll never go back to the old way. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease. It'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Selecting the right multi-peril crop insurance policy and hail coverage are big decisions. Thankfully, the team at Ag Country Farm Credit Services can help you find the right fit for your farming needs. The specialists at Ag Country know agriculture and will utilize their exclusive Optimum tool to save you time and protect your bottom line. Contact your local Ag Country office today to get started. Ag Country. Focused on ag, focused on you. Ag Country is an equal opportunity lender and provider.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning, market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets mostly lower here. We're seeing double-digit losses in the soybeans, or 5 to 7 lower in the corn, and we're mixed, a penny higher to 3 lower across the wheat complex here this morning. Our trading analyst Ben Cash says a higher dollar and tariff uncertainty continues to put pressure on this corn and soybean markets.
Yeah, higher dollar here today. Mostly favorable weather down in South America for right now, and then the tariff situation obviously looms large here on the markets, and sounds like EU is going to go ahead and retaliate with 25% tariffs since we're slapping the steel and aluminum tariff imports on them. So, that's just kind of the market environment we're in right now, and going forward here, we need to keep an eye on U.S. weather, kind of shift our focus a little bit here to the U.S. And, obviously right now it looks like, still leans a little positive here for increasing corn acres and a decrease here in soybean acres. And I think that's what the market's trying to factor in for the time being.
And Cash says that cattle market continues to impress.
Up here at these levels, it's definitely worth putting some downside protection on those. U.S. beef is included in that EU tariff, so I think the beef market's getting into a little bit of the seasonal demand here for the northern hemisphere and grilling, but overall there is some downside risk going forward.
You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Has the weather got you thinking about summer vacation? Give your kids an adventure this summer by enrolling them in Farmers Union's Summer Leadership Camp, held Monday, June 23rd through Friday, June 27th at MFU's Lake Sarah Campground near Erskine, Minnesota. The week-long camp for ages 9 through 13 includes hiking, swimming, campfires, theme nights, learning, and fun, all for less than $200. Learn more and register at mfu.org. Minnesota Farmers Union, standing for agriculture, working for farmers.
This winter, many areas have had little to no snow cover. What does this mean for weed pressure in your fields? I'm Darren Hefty with Hefty Seed Company. For months this winter, we saw bare fields everywhere. This is bad news because weeds gain an advantage in years with little snow. Early warm days especially give winter annuals a head start, meaning pre-plant and pre-emerge herbicides are more important than ever. So talk to your local Hefty agronomist and be ready. We're here to help with answers to overcome any challenges like weed control that you'll face this season.
Join the Red River Farm Network as we highlight the role of women in agriculture. Our special series called Agriculture. It's made possible by the Minnesota Soybean Research and Promotion Council, along with the Minnesota Corn Growers Association, North Dakota Corn Council, Van On and Company, and Ag Country Farm Credit Services. Sarah Kushel of Sabika among those featured.
One of the biggest things that motivates me is somebody did it for me. That's how I was able to have those opportunities, and I found value in every one of them that I was able to be a part of as a kid, as a young adult, and even today as an adult. Being involved in the community is what makes your community thrive and grow, so you have a place to call home. And I was raised in a spot that we came together to support each other in the good times and the hard times. I want to make sure that that opportunity is there for the next generation, and that these same opportunities are in our community for them.
You can follow the entire series on the Red River Farm Network website and YouTube channel.
May wheat Minneapolis down 3 cents, $5.94 a quarter. Chicago May wheat's down a half penny. Kansas City May wheat a half penny higher now, $5.73, up 1. May corn down 8 3/4 cents, $4.61 and a half. December's down 6, $4.48 and a half. May soybeans down 12 1/4 at $9.99. November soybeans down 10 and a half at $10.05. May canola down $8.80 a metric ton. April live cattle $1.40 higher. The August is up $1.20. April feeder cattle $2.22 higher. August is up $1.95. April lean hogs unchanged. June lean hogs 57 cents higher. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Want to look and feel better fast? How about losing 31 pounds in 50 days? That's the average weight loss on Plan Z. Hi, it's Zola. When I started PlanZDiet.com more than 10 years ago, my husband came up with this tagline: when you've tried everything from Atkins to Weight Watchers, it's time for Plan Z. Now we're competing with shots. You know, the lifelong drugs that can cost $1,000 a month. If you want to eat and enjoy real food and still lose weight, my patented ZR50 Crave Control Spray will keep cravings at bay. And my easy-to-make recipes make this the best-tasting diet on the planet. Our customer appreciation sale is on now. Get started for $19 a month and buy your diet supplies as you need them. I really want to help you lose weight and keep it off. I'll teach you how to enjoy real food again and lose the weight that's making you sick and tired. Take this small step now. Go to PlanZDiet.com and watch the short video and check out a couple of success stories. Real people lose real weight with Plan Z.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose: a very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special, $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. Early bird special, only $49.99. Become a non-smoker. Seminar Tuesday, April 1st at the American Lodge and Suites, Fergus Falls Conference Center. Stop smoking seminar at 8. Weight loss seminar at 5:30. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Previously on the Under the Hood Show. When I was a kid, I had a chance to get a chemistry set.
I got
Only
the
I'd have
chemistry
known.
set, and I started experimenting with the baking soda and the vinegar thing, you know, and how cool that was. And of course, you know, I had to overdo it like I do everything, and I got it on a little bigger level, and I got in a lot of trouble, and we had to buy new carpet for the living room. It was not good.
You should listen to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics right here, KBRF, 1250 a.m., every Saturday at 10 a.m.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. Checking the forecast for today, topping out around 52, dropping down to 34 for tonight's low with 63 tomorrow. Not bad. 65 on Friday, looking good. Saturday, 28. The low of 12 with snow, rain, sleet, all mixing in. 31 for Saturday's high. Monday up around 47, 41 on Tuesday. So still looking at a little bit of freezing rain, mist, and all that love coming Friday, Saturday. Right now, Fergus Falls, it is 34 degrees. As Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our good friends over at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Falls Monument. I realized when I turned my mic down to cough, it's still on camera.
Oh. I know. We're just not used to the whole camera thing yet. And
turn off the mic. Got to
I
flip
know.
the camera to my or very
Yeah,
fast.
you got all the buttons to push. I'm not even worried about it. I'm just doing my thing like I normally do. And yeah, so if you see me sneeze or whatever I do, sorry about that. But that's how it goes.
It's what radio actually looks like.
It's what we do.
Yeah,
right?
It's what we look like.
We just have never. We always. I mean, how many jokes have we all said about we have faces for radio?
Yes.
And we never thought that our faces would actually be seen.
I was shocked when I started doing a food show, and then now we're doing this.
I know. I love your food show, though.
Have you seen the newest one?
I haven't seen. I saw that it was up, and I have never heard of that place.
Big Whitey's, yeah, basically on the main kind of corner, kind of their main, crossroads.
And where was it?
Herman.
Herman. Well, no wonder. I've been to Herman, or maybe through Herman, a number, just a few times in my life.
I recommend it. The food was really good. The appetizers. I think the thing that.
How did you find Whitey's in Herman?
Amanda, one of our sales reps, lives in Dolan and passes by, and it's kind of one of her stomping grounds. And so we were kind of trying to get some further out ones.
Sure.
I know our next episode, so it's kind of funny though. We shoot next Wednesday in Alexandria, a couple places there.
Okay.
And then the week after that, we get really close to home because we're going to do El Loros in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
So that'll probably be
like across, just down
May.
the street.
Yeah, that'll probably be our May episode.
Okay.
So we're going to get a couple of those in the can, and it's kind of funny because when we started this, we weren't all that busy. I mean, between Zach and I, and then we brought in Derek. But the problem is right now we're all covering so many different things that finding time for the three of us to go
get
shoot
together
it can be a little difficult. I
Right.
mean, worst comes to worst, Zach and I can do it because I mean that's what we were used to. But it's so much nicer having Derek with us,
It is,
giving us
I'm
a hand.
sure.
So
okay,
we try to make sure he's there. We refer to him as Hands. He likes being off camera. He doesn't like being on camera. So you just see his hand coming in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
So-
Hands. It's kind of like Cousin It on
Yeah.
on the Addams Family. Well, remember, okay, so yesterday we talked briefly about those mysterious deaths of, I can't even think of his name.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman and his wife.
Yep.
And she died of hantavirus. And I don't know, that's,
wow.
yeah. So it's an infection that tragically killed Gene Hackman's wife, Betsy Arakawa. It's been in the news lately, and I suppose because of this. How does it spread? So they want people to know. While it's unknown how Arakawa contracted hantavirus, there are 24 known types of the disease that can make people sick. It might seem like a common cold at first because its initial symptoms mimic cold or flu-like symptoms.
Oh, sneaky.
But the infection can cause serious complications and death. In North America, people usually contract hantavirus by inhaling rodent feces, urine, or saliva. That's gross. Sorry if you're eating breakfast. Particularly while cleaning.
It kind of gives you a heads up that maybe if you're doing some cleaning and you're kind of in a nasty area, wear some gloves and maybe a little N95. Let's face it, we all got those hanging
Get
out.
your mask back out. To prevent contracting the disease, experts recommend keeping your environment free from rodents.
That helps.
That's always a good idea. And disinfecting areas that could be contaminated with rodent, droppings. Wearing gloves, as you mentioned, and a mask, while disinfecting could also offer some protection. So that's the deal there.
Punishes you for cleaning.
I guess. Or, maybe you're going into, you decide today's the day to clean out the garage, or you've got a shed in the backyard.
For me, it'd be the cabin. When you
cabin.
When you open up the cabin.
Yeah, we luckily, I feel like knocking on wood someplace, we have never had a mouse problem. We
don't have a mouse problem. We just have the occasional mice. I mean, because
we've never
we're
even
not
seen,
there enough.
Yeah, well, of course, we're there all the time. We have never seen, even when we do what you need to do. We lay a lot of, they don't like dryer sheets.
Okay.
And so we take dryer sheets and lay them all over the cabin.
I think I need to do that.
We put that in our pontoon before we store it. We just load it with that. And we've never had a problem. So I don't know if we can, give glory to the dryer sheets.
All hail Downey.
Or, yeah. Or if we're just lucky in an area where, I don't know.
You
by the
also
lake.
don't-
You would think, though.
Yeah, but
got to be an occasional mouse.
you don't have too much fields, or you don't really have too much around your cabin, though.
True.
I've got a
In-
bunch of trees and a bunch
Yeah,
of.
in fact, we've got very little property even,
Yeah.
you know.
We got about 2 acres, so
We have like a postage stamp.
Yeah.
I mean, the tiny little lot and tiny little cabin. But you know, for example, if you're going out in the spring to clean the cabin, or you've got that shed out in the backyard, that's maybe where you want to be super careful. I don't think any of us have enough rodents in our house that we have to be worried about that. And in this huge, beautiful luxury home, it seems interesting. But who knows? Maybe she was out in the backyard in there.
Exactly.
You just don't know. And we will never know exactly how that happened. But anyway, gloves and a mask if you're doing that kind of cleaning. Oh, how about this one? Again, if you're eating, put your spoon down for a moment. An Air India flight from Chicago to Delhi had to turn around after 8 of its 12 toilets became clogged 5 hours into the trip.
It was chilly night at the airport.
So did they turn around 5 hours again? I mean, they'd been in the air 5 hours, and it said they had to turn around.
Well, Chicago, I mean, you'd like to think that they could have landed in L.A., Seattle.
You kind of think, but anyway, employees discovered passengers had flushed plastic bags, even clothing down the
flushes
toilet.
clothing?
Who does that? I don't know. Anyway, a spokesperson for the airline urged flyers to use lavatories only for the purposes that they are intended for. Passengers were given hotel accommodations and alternative flight options for their inconvenience. But I always say, well, that's great, but now I've wasted a day of my vacation.
Yeah.
You know, so that would make me...
But I mean, how much of a rock star are you that you're flushing clothing in the
question.
airport or the airplane?
Or anywhere. People don't flush clothing. Do you know what? I'm even careful, like, especially out at the lake, but even at my house in town, toilet paper is the only thing that goes down the toilet. And not even a Kleenex. They say that even Kleenex is not good.
Kleenexes, I know I've talked to Len Taylor many, many times about this. When they say quote-unquote flushable wipes, they're not flushable. Don't put them in the toilet.
I know. Why do they call them flushable? Because you're not supposed to flush those.
No, you do not.
But isn't there something about Kleenex? You're not even supposed to flush Kleenex?
I probably, yeah. About the only thing that should go in there is toilet paper. But I mean, I've talked to Len Taylor, and he told me about how absolutely clogged things get at the treatment plant because people put all this stuff down there.
Right. Do you know what the other culprit is? And I never knew this, and I used to wash a lot of it down the drain. Coffee grounds. There was, for whatever reason, one of the times I was doing some kind of interview here, there was a plumber on the air with me. And he said that causes more trouble with people's drain systems than anything. So you're not supposed to wash any of your coffee grounds down the drain. I just figured coffee grounds, you know?
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to.
Interesting.
So that's when I stopped using my French press, because you'd wipe it out of there and you'd try to get it all, but you always ended up washing some of those coffee grounds down the drain. So then I thought, well, that doesn't sound like that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So back to the Keurig. Let's see. Oh, do you remember the movie Cujo? You were probably too young.
I've seen Cujo.
Okay. Yeah, so it's about this dog.
The old St. Bernard.
A mother and son trapped in their car by a rabid dog.
Yeah.
Now, it's a Stephen King flick.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix is setting to make a remake of Cujo. It was from a book in 1981 from Stephen King, was previously adapted into a 1983 film starring Dee Wallace and Danny Pintorro, grossed about $21 million worldwide, and it was on a $6 million budget. So it was like
the
super budget movie.
The you know how cheap movies were back then, and so you hear 21 million, you're like, whoa, that's nothing.
But really, honestly,
comparative
the movie,
to the $6 million to make,
yeah, the movie is watching people trapped in a car.
Yeah.
But that dog, yikes.
I had to laugh. I was watching an interview with Stephen King on.
Is he still living?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least I think he is, because the interview is not that old. Somebody's asking if he ever came up with an idea and had it working, but he just couldn't work out the thing. And he said, yeah, he had one idea where a guy and his wife were at an airport. The woman went into the bathroom and never came out. Another guy and his wife, she went into the bathroom, never came out. They go get security. The security guy goes into the bathroom and never comes out. He goes, but I really couldn't figure out what was in the bathroom or where this story was going, so I had to stop it and just go, we're going to shelve that.
Oh.
He goes, I really couldn't figure it. It was like I had this great concept.
Seemed like a good idea, but where did the people really go?
Yeah, what was actually happening?
Yeah.
So he had to abandon that one.
Okay, all right. Well, here's kind of a cool story about a family and brothers. Their names of these boys, Peter and Jeremy. They have become the youngest brothers to collectively earn 171 Junior Ranger badges at national park sites. This is kind of a cool deal. I don't know if this still goes on. The Idaho siblings, who are 6 and 8 years old, began collecting badges in 2020 and started at Death Valley National Park. Peter was just a year old at the time. Dad says, when we visited our first national park 5 years ago as a family, we didn't imagine we'd make it to all of them, let alone in just 5 years. The Junior Ranger program offers young park visitors a series of educational activities that they can complete and receive an official patch from the park ranger.
Oh, wow.
So there's 171 places for them to do this, national parks. And these kids in 5 years, at ages 6 and 8, have visited all 171.
That's some bored parents.
Well, or parents with, I mean, it takes some money to travel all those places.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go all in.
Yeah, just to plot them all out and where they all are, but it's kind of a cool program.
Oh, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the program. I think it's very interesting and
oh
very
my goodness,
educational
in
for the
5
kids, but
years,
wow.
Just think, that's a lot of parks every year.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway.
That's a lot of parks every month.
It is. How do you do that? Are you professional travelers? I mean,
wow,
that's a lot. Yeah.
Well, I suppose up at the Northeast, they might be kind of.
There's a few within each, close proximity to each other, but still, 171. Wow. All right. Feel like some trivia?
Oh,
one of these
like
is
the trivia.
super easy, and I could even do this one.
Looking for the cursor so I can bring up the music.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. What's the traditional meat on a Reuben sandwich? How easy does it get?
Traditional meat on a Reuben sandwich.
Yeah.
The Reuben sandwich was invented, oddly enough, at a restaurant or delicatessen named Reuben.
Oh, is
And
that
it's
right?
Reuben's, yes, that's where
of
it gets
course,
the name.
you would know the backstory.
And it is corned beef.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite sandwiches.
All right. I do not like corned
I love
beef.
the Reuben.
And I don't like sauerkraut.
I
so-
love the sauerkraut. I love the corned beef. The
Yeah, I
Swiss,
don't.
The rye.
I
An
don't.
interesting take on the Reuben is just down the street at Fresh and Fancy with Mama Sheena. They do it, but they use a Russian dressing instead of the Thousand Island. And it puts a little extra zing in it.
Oh.
We had that for
I
Where
love
to Eat.
Thousand Island dressing.
Yeah, I love Thousand Island too.
Mhm.
If I get a Reuben, I always get a
What
salad.
is so there's a companion to the Reuben. It's called the Rachel.
The
How is
Rachel,
that different? Do you
Turkey
know?
instead of it's turkey instead of corned beef.
Oh, I might, but does it have sauerkraut still?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can
Then
always
it's still out.
You can always ask for it without the
You
sauerkraut.
could.
Mary.
You could. How about this one? You want one more?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What year was McDonald's Big Mac sandwich introduced?
1976.
67.
Oh,
It's older than you thought.
I'm dyslexic. If you flip that 76,
Yes.
that's 67.
Well, you are. That's
There you
right. Maybe
go.
that's what you meant. So, yeah, 1967. So there you go. Let's see what else we have for you. Pi Day is coming up. That's
Oh yeah,
this Friday.
314.
Yep.
Yes.
And Pizza Hut is debuting a charcuterie for Pi Day just in time. Pizza Hut is letting their fans design their own pizza charcuterie board. Starting at $24.99, you can curate your own spread, complete with your choice of 2 medium pizzas, boneless wings, and favorite sticks and dips.
That's not really a charcuterie board.
It's pizza on a board, I guess.
Yeah.
Even award-winning tight end Robert Gronkowski created his board with his favorite fixings. And you can go to pizzahut.com or the Pizza Hut app if you'd like to build your own pizza.
Or head over to Perkins and get some good pie.
You could do that too.
Perkins French Silk. Know what else? Who else has good pie that you can get on Friday? American Legion.
Oh, I know. And today, Wednesday special,
Yep.
it is the Chicken Supreme Sandwich with tater tots.
Ooh.
I know, and a treat, of course.
Yep.
So open at 11 for takeout and 3 o'clock if you'd like to dine in. So, and that Chicken Supreme Sandwich is a good one.
Let's see if
so
they got pie.
That's today. Okay, how about Sea Dog? The Sea Dog is back at Wiener Schnitzel.
A Wiener Schnitzel.
A Wiener Schnitzel. Anyway, the Sea Dog and fish and chips menu options are back at Wiener Schnitzel, wherever that is.
Please tell me it is a ground up hot dog or ground up seafood in that they press into a hot dog.
I don't know. It sounds terrible. Here we go. I'll tell you what's in it. The Sea Dog is made with battered and fried fish fillet served on a hot dog bun. Oh, so it's not really a hot dog.
Basically a discount fish sandwich.
Yeah, with a slice of American cheese and tartar sauce. The fish and chips meal is made with 2 or 4 battered and fried fish fillets, fries, and tartar sauce for dipping. Available during Lenten season. So,
know what I tried last night for the first time?
What's that?
I got it at Service Food. They got this special going on with yellowfin tuna. It's frozen
Okay.
yellowfin. And I did that with rice last night. And oh, wow, that was tasty.
Really? How did you fix it?
I did it the same way I do mahi, where I just put a little bit of butter and a little bit of olive oil in a skillet and pan fry them.
Oh,
And
okay.
you got to make sure you don't overdo it. But yeah.
It doesn't, I bet it doesn't take very long.
No, it's cooked.
Is it fishy?
No, it's
Are you sure?
Yeah, it tastes. It tastes
Do you know,
like
people always make fun of me. I'm like, oh, Northern is so fishy. And they're like, well, that's because it's
the
fish.
But it was very, very tasty. It tastes like high-end tuna.
Okay, well,
it's what it is.
and I don't love, I've had tuna one time, you know, like it was a big, thick tuna steak.
Yeah. Well, these are.
Is that ahi, probably?
Yeah, that's what this was. Is big medallion size, probably.
Yeah, I
half-inch
can't
thick.
like that. Oh, and tuna, wow. Tuna out of a can, that might be, I would eat Spam first.
It tasted a lot better than tuna out of a can.
That just gives me the shivers. I'm not very good at fish. I like fish that has more batter than actual fish. That's what my husband always says. No, you don't like fish. You like batter. And he's right.
Hey, well, you'd like mahi. Mahi's not very fishy.
Maybe.
I mean, you cook it without batter. I mean, you cook it, like I said,
know,
with butter, a little bit of salt and pepper on it.
I
Put a
can
little
almost
thyme in
smell
there.
it. Nope, I'm sure it
Okay.
tastes like fish. And I will eat walleye, but of course it has to be
Battered.
It has to have some kind of batter on it.
Yep.
And the way I like fish is pieces about like a potato chip and about as thin.
You like halibut cheese.
Yeah, I don't think I like that either. I'm not a very good fish eater. I wish I was. And I always say I'm not fussy, but when it comes to fish,
Thankfully, you don't live anywhere near a
I'm fussy.
lake.
I know. Coming up on 10 o'clock, that is going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday. Our show today and every day is brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great day.